Hey everyone, the expansion just came out, and you might be wondering what to play. Right now, there's a lot of experimentation going on, and I wanted to highlight four somewhat new archetypes. They all are old archetypes, but they got a good amount of tools that are actually very strong in their decks, so that have been performing well. So I wanted to go over four new decks you could play. I did not include some decks that are a little less figured out. I also did not include some decks that are running zero new cards. Frost Death Knight and Nostalgia Shaman are absolutely dominant right now, and they run zero new cards. So if you want to, if you're like, oh, I'm a free to play player and I don't have any new cards, but you have those decks are really, really good right now. So you can play those until you farm up some new packs and maybe get some new cards. First, we've got Egg Hunter. This is a Egg Hunter list that runs the sort of the new tracking package. Mainly Exarch and Analia is really, really OP. And we're running a lot of the old Egg package, but with some of this Discover stuff. We got the Ragnarok Scout, Ragnari Scout, and we got this Alien Encounter cards, which is a really, really good card because you can play it for zero. And so this list is performing very, very well, but it's the same old thing of using Hollow Hounds and always a bigger Joggermer and Mukla and abusing Sasquatch with eggs. Same old idea, but with a new powerful twist, and this archetype is performing very well. Next, we've got Odyn Warrior. I played this last night. It's very, very strong. It really only has two new cards, but they're both insanely good. It has the Hostile Invader. This not only is like a board clear with a body, you can deal 4 to all with this in one spell. You can just do 2 to all, very, very good. And you've got the Ceaseless Expanse. This card is the card of the expansion. Play this, win the game. Just the fact that you have a 0 mana board clear. You could use this on the same turn you use Odin, so often when you're playing this deck, you're always in this conundrum, like, do I remove my opponent's board? Do I play Odin? Well, now you can do both. You can play this for 0, play Odin. Now, if your opponent doesn't have lethal, they have to remove their board, and then bam, the next turn you lethal them. So a really great addition to this deck, and it might be the highest performing deck at Legend right now. Elemental Mage, which I'm going to show you in a second, is doing really well, but this deck might seem to be slightly better at the high ranks, and it's good at the low ranks too. So next we've got Highlander Death Knight. I was playing this and doing quite well with it, but it's sort of the old style, but with some new twists. So let's talk about the new twists. The old twists are this, but one, we run the Airlock Breach. This card is just OP. It's Vampiric Blood with a body. We run with the Exarch Maladar, so we can get some mana cheating stuff out. This does have synergy with your CNE. So we run the Ceaseless Expanse, and our ETC has another Airlock Breach and Jaden. So this is more useful if you're at a mirror and your opponent plays Helia, but this is so you can win in a late game scenario. So depending on the situation, you might run that. But at the end of the day, it's very kind of similar to the old stuff. You can see, we've got a few new cards as well, like Error Brute, but really, this is a tried and tested archetype. And right now, I've been experimenting with a lot of Death Knights. We played a Starship Death Knight. We played the Pure Control Death Knight. They're all okay. Right now, Highlander Death Knight is the best performing, and it's the cheapest. So if it's day one, you want to play something that's reliable, this is your deck. If you want to experiment, the experiment, there's some really cool, fun, different Death Knight lists, but they haven't quite outperformed just the standard bread and butter. Finally, you've probably seen this. If you've been playing, you've probably seen the letter. It's cheap. It's broken. I thought this deck would be broken at Diamond, but bad at High Legend. Turns out it's broken at High Legend. Everybody's playing this deck. This is the deck to beat. This is the deck people are going to be calling for nerfs for. And it's cheap. Enjoy it for the next 2 weeks because it's going to get nerfed. This card deck is way too strong. It's got the same elemental synergies with Lamplighter as the old list, but you go Sarin and you give all elementals in your deck fire spell damage +1. This gives this one. You play this, you get a board of 7 elementals. You go Molten Rune, you shoot a bunch of stuff in the face, you win the game. You also have this card that's really good because basically it's just a 3 mana draw 3. This is one of those decks what I call Blizzard made this deck. This deck, it really took no deck building. It's just a pure sort of very easy synergy deck. It's got this new Spontaneous Combustion card. It's got this new Solar Flare card. Just really, really strong right now. So, you know, if you want to get Legend, if you wanted this, right now you've got about 48 hours to abuse this deck until it's everywhere, and then you'll be playing a lot of mirrors, but it's still going to be good. This deck is ridiculous, and it's cheap. If you're looking for a day one deck to play, just craft Sarin. You know, it's probably going to get nerfed, though there is a risk that something else gets nerfed, but bottom line is this deck is really good, and you know, it only requires one craft a new legendary, and this whole archetype is just ridiculously strong. So it's a great craft. It's probably so because it's cheap. So anyways, those are my top 4 decks from day 1. Maybe we'll have another one on day 4, but right now, if you want to play something today that's a little bit new, and I did not include these, but if you want to play something that's old that's really well, I'd say Frost Death Knight and Nostalgia Shaman runs 0 new cards, and they're dominating. So those are good archetypes to play if you just want to play your old stuff. So anyways, I'll see you guys on the ladder. Codes and lists in the description.